The hardest part about being a content creator is not having time to create anything for myself. So good. Since becoming a photographer and filmmaker, I've traveled a lot for work. But making content for myself while creating for my clients, that's always been my biggest struggle. With a tight schedule, a huge shot list, and endless days of focused work, I often ended up overwhelmed. And to be honest, that's energy consuming. And by content for myself, I mean shooting BTS, some quick photos, or just vlogging for my YouTube channel. Basically anything related to my personal brand. Recently, this struggle hit me harder than usual because the project that I was working on perfectly aligned with my creative vision. And not being able to create anything for myself, that was kind of frustrating. So this week I wanted to talk about how I faced and overcome this problem, how I pushed myself to stay consistent, the tools that I use and the mindset that I'm trying to shift in my life to overcome these problems, and just keep pushing. But before talking about that, let's jump back a few weeks ago when I was in south of Italy. I was there to document mussel farmers. I wanted to vlog that day so badly. I actually started pretty well, but I was so focused on the work that I was doing that I ended up doing nothing. So I came home with a couple of photos and that's it. By the way, we are in the middle of September. It's still warm, but the weather starts to look like autumn, and I love this transition to the next season, which is my absolutely favorite. And yeah, it's the perfect weather to enjoy my cinnamon cheesecake.
Good morning, guys. It's 6 a.m. and I have to get ready pretty fast because this morning we are going southern in a city called Taranto. We will spend the day with some fishermen. Now I need a coffee really bad. Let's go.
I started the day with the intent of vlog everything. I made a quick coffee, get ready, and jumped into the car to reach Taranto, well known for their mussels production. After a quick break for a second shot of coffee, we reached the city, and the goal was to meet up with our guide, who would introduce us to the world of mussels. Once there, I was filming for my client, and I was so focused on what was happening in the fish market that I barely had time to take a short story of me eating some raw mussels. Oh, by the way, it was my first time trying raw mussels and they were so good. Anyway, after the tasting, we reached the shore to head to the mussel farm. Here we met two mussels farmers, and again, I was so focused while documenting what they were doing that I totally forgot to make backstage material or just vlog a little bit. And just before leaving, I remembered to do something and I managed to take a couple of photos. And that's pretty much everything. The day moved on, I kept filming for my client, and what I was documenting was not interesting for my personal content. Or at least that's what I thought that day. But the reality is I had in front of me so many good situations, and I thought I had to prioritize my work. So I thought I don't have time to vlog or make any kind of content for myself. But later that night I realized I was making excuses. You know, recently I read a book called The War of Art. I will leave the link in the description. Anyway, the author talks about the resistance that we face when it comes to make something. You know, when you go to the gym the 1st of January and then you never show up? That's the resistance. It shows up when it's time to practice for real, when you're supposed to do something for yourself, especially when the games becomes harder. So when that happened to me and I was working so hard and apparently I didn't have time to make content for myself, I was making excuses to I don't know, justify my laziness. So the resistance won on me. And in that specific moment, I realized I had to change my mindset. So that night, I started to brainstorming so hard, and I suddenly realized the smartest way to do something was to stay organized. Okay, so that night I managed to create a sort of schedule to organize all my content, what to shoot and when to publish it. And I knew that if I had everything organized, I had no excuses. So to organize and plan my content, I use Milanote, which is not the sponsor of this video. I simply love using it because I find pretty cool to have a visual map of my ideas. In this way, it's like having an old board full of post-it on it, if you know what I mean. So one of the biggest changes for me during that trip was actually to sit down and giving myself time to brainstorm everything. So that night I grabbed my iPad and started planning everything. So I use it both for Instagram, YouTube, or for work purpose, and it helps me keep everything visual and clear. So let me show you. So when I'm brainstorming, I like to use these cards where I can quickly write ideas, add notes, or even attach reference pictures. So usually I set up a different board for each project. Inside of each one, I can drag things, expand them, rearrange, or add details. For example, right now I'm working on this YouTube video and I collected a sort of shot list. I drawn on another app. Of course, I drawn the thumbnail and a first draft of the title. And in general, I separate my YouTube boards from my Instagram board, so it's easier to stay focused. And in my Instagram board, I manage the topics I want to share, because what I'm trying to do now is to post daily. And to do so, I need to have everything clear. And once I'm done with a project, I just move the whole board into my publish section, so I can keep working on something fresh each month. And the last feature that I love about Milanote is that it works online. So I can use it on my iPad, my iPhone, my MacBook. So wherever I'm going, I always have one device with me so I can get access to everything that I have. And it's pretty cool because sometimes I'm scheduling content directly on Instagram and I don't remember which one to post first. So I just quickly open the app and figure it out. Oh, and the best feature is that it's free. Of course, you have a limited number of boards available, but it's free, and I'm using the free version as well. So in case you want to use it, there is a link in the description that you can use to register to the app. And by doing so, I will get 20 more boards for free, just to be 100% transparent. This latte art is terrible. Okay, so that's what I learned so far. First, yeah, kinda classic, I need to enjoy the moment. Even with all the planning, I don't want to forget to be present. For me, being present means actually noticing what's happening in front of me, instead of being stuck in one thing, like creating for my clients or just making content for myself. And enjoying the moment is about awareness, so living the story and not just recording it. Second thing, organization and consistency are key. That night, I realized that I can be productive only if I set goals and stick to the plan. For reference, before I was posting basically out of nowhere. I was having like cool images on my phone and I was posting them when I was feeling it. And on YouTube, yeah, I was kind of having some ideas I was writing down and I was somehow making a script of it, but I was not actually making a plan. So now I have a plan for September, October and November, which maybe is a bit too much because sometimes I have ideas that pops in and I move things around, but it's better to have those kind of ideas that shows up and I find the place of it rather than not knowing what's gonna happen next week. Now, I don't wanna say I cracked the grow hack formula because I'm not growing at all, but having a plan, being organized and building small habits around these plans, it's pushing me to do more and better. So I'm improving like 1% each time and it just feels good. And I know in future that will pay off a lot. And I know this mindset will change everything. And third, probably the most important one, don't give up when things get harder. Resistance always shows up when the work actually matters. It never shows up when things are easy, when you are in your comfort zone, but it shows up when you have fatigue, when you are questioning yourself. So pushing through the resistance when things are not easy, it's what makes the difference between making something and not making anything at all. Like for this video, right now I have a lot of work to do for my clients and I have to shoot a couple of things for this video as well. And I hear the resistance whispering at me saying, give up, nobody cares, your views are low. But deep down I know I want to make videos, even if it takes time, even if it's not perfect yet. I just want to show up every Friday with a new episode because I think that's how I will reach new levels of creativity, how I will reach new people, and in the long term, that will make me grow as a content creator. So just putting my work out there and not in my phone or my archive. And to do so, I have, again, to stay consistent. So yeah, be present, stay organized, and push through resistance. That's everything that I'm learning right now. Okay, that's it. I hope this kind of video is useful for you too, to face your own struggle and keep pushing. See you in the next week. Ciao.